Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Wrestling Without Context podcast. Join me, Sean, a lifelong wrestling fan, as I take my friend Brian.
That's me!
A complete unknown to the world of sports entertainment. With no prior knowledge or context, Brian experiences the magic, drama, and unforgettable moments of professional wrestling for the first time. As I guide him through the larger-than-life characters, jaw-dropping feats, and stories that make professional wrestling an unforgettable experience. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on the show. Welcome. The way the show works is prior to recording this episode, Brian and I watch a match that Brian has never seen before. And we also watch something wrestling adjacent, a segment, a promo, TV show, because as we like to now call it, everything is wrestling. So please subscribe to us on YouTube at Wrestling Without Context, where you can find the video version of this podcast. Please subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, leave us a comment. We'll give you a nice little shout out. Please help us get to 30 subscribers. We're trying to hit our dirty 30 subscribers, and we'll give you a little, bonus content. Great eyebrows, Brian.
I always have eyebrows.
Yes, eyebrows. You can also join us on Patreon, where you can subscribe for the low price of only $1. That gets you access to the audio and video version of the show ad-free. You can also get bonus content, such as my bi-weekly show, The Heel Turn, where I give my unfiltered thoughts on wrestling, my life, or anything else that pops into my head. Starting this month, September, we'll also be having a mini bonus episode, which we are going to be recording directly after this episode, where Brett and I just watch a match, or we're actually going to be watching part of a show and talk about it, so be on the lookout for that. You can find us on most forms of social media. We're on Twitter at WrestleWOCNTXT. We're on Instagram at Wrestling Without CNTXT. We're on TikTok at Wrestling Without CNTXT. And you can click on the link tree for this podcast wherever you're consuming it for easy access to all our content and socials. Man, I am 2 for 2 now.
Woo! Tongue twisters!
Yeah, less than 2 minutes for me to get all that out. So I'm getting better, squad.
That was great.
Yeah, so thank you, everybody, for joining us for this episode. Last week, we watched Stadium Stampede in anticipation of the NFL season. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Doing all right. We got some weather out here.
Yes, you kept sending me your haboobies.
I was sending my haboobies out. You know, I take internet security very seriously, so all my haboobies go on the internet, so everybody can see them. But yeah,
they're all very pressed together.
That's right, and they're big. They encompass a big area. So.
Yeah, no, they were very enveloping, as they like to say. Is weather like that out there in Arizona? Like a fall this kind of time of year? Is it kind of like that?
Yeah, so we consider this like monsoon season. So like it's a lot of thunderstorms, a lot of windstorms, that kind of stuff. But it only lasts for like 2-3 months. So it just feels a little bit later than normal as what it's hitting right now. But
I had a person I worked with in 2004 that had a theory that all the seasons were moving. So like winter's moving into spring, and so on and so forth. Excuse me. Wow.
I like that theory. You know, that you're keeping snow in the Midwest until like late March now, where it used to like,
and sometimes it goes even into April.
So yeah.
And then I feel like you
don't get your first snow till like December now. So I remember trick-or-treating. I remember trick-or-treating in like the snow growing up.
There was a year, it was the first year we bought our house in 2019, where it was like 31 degrees and snowing on Halloween. Nice. When it had been in the 50s or stuff like that. And then this past year, I'm pretty sure we had 60 degree days in February. So it's just like
wild.
Yeah, I know. So this is not wrestling without the weather. This is wrestling without context.
This is wrestling with weather.
Yeah. Oh, man. Just global warming, man. I feel like Mark Maron. You hear about that global warming? Or global warming.
We need a global warning as well.
Yeah, I know. Everyone needs to take a time out, take a breath, maybe sit outside, enjoy the global warming. It is getting a little fall-like in Chicago, so I'm getting quite excited because it's
good.
Hoodie weather, as you'll see.
Oh man, we're under 100 degrees now. For our highs. That's great. We're like in the upper 90s now. Woo! Time to put on a sweater.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, whoo. It's shorts and a hoodie weather.
I'll be last time I came back home to visit my family back in the Midwest, it was like 75, 76, and I was like bundled up. I was like, oh, I'm too cold. This is not good anymore. I've adapted.
So I usually, if Morgan and I take a vacation, it's usually somewhere in between January and March. Usually rates are cheaper and stuff like that. So like inevitably we'll go to some warm weather client, and I have to tell myself to pack a hoodie.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason I didn't have any sort of a sweatshirt. So like we went down to Florida. It was like 80 degrees, came back up into Chicago in like the end of January, and it was 18 degrees. And so now I don't have pants. So I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt, freezing outside, waiting for the Uber outside the terminals at O'Hare Airport. And it's just like, oh, this is horrible.
Not good.
Yeah. Not good. So this is also not wrestling with travel.
How's your week been?
Just we're finally closing on the house, thankfully. So you'll see a new setup probably at the beginning of October. So
big old boxes everywhere.
Yeah, no. What was it? No, I will be upstairs on a second floor. I'm currently downstairs in a basement for this. The bookshelves will not be coming with me, and you'll probably just see a closet door behind me. So I always kind of liked this setup because it's like, oh, look, he's got. Like,
he's a real collector. I just have kitchen cabinets behind me.
Yeah, I know. People curating their behind the scenes Zoom and Teams, and it's like, man, like you're trying too hard. There's like 3 books, and you got to figure out what they are, and one of them's either.
All right, fine. I'll open up. You can see my stuff behind me too.
Is that Rice Krispie treats?
Yes.
And a bottle of maple syrup.
It's got no, those are just Rice Krispies. I got some Cinnamon Toast Crunch up there, some Cliff Bars, some macaroni and cheese. You know, all the good essentials.
Yeah, exactly. What was it? No taco making material this week?
Nope.
You have to look.
Nope, none.
I have to make sure. No, what was it? If behind me, you can see over my right shoulder to your left, you can see the Dragon Ball Z DVDs.
I got them right there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then you can see the weights I don't use because, well, I bought them during COVID, and because everything was shut down and like gyms and stuff like that, and so it was like I gotta get a pump on. I gotta do it.
Gotta do it at home.
Yeah, no, and they're fantastic. So I got extremely lucky with those because like those are not made in America. And so like I had to get them like special ordered and stuff like that. And I went if we locked down on a Monday, I was in a place by a Tuesday or something like that.
Okay.
Or like whenever like it slightly opened up and the guy's like, yeah, you're the second person that came in. And then I came in and got them like maybe a couple weeks later because they had to come from basically, I think the distribution was out of Minnesota. I know everyone's so enamored with this right now. The distribution was out of Minnesota, but they only had so many left. And they're like, yeah, like 50. I have 50 people on that list now, and you were number 2. So
perfect timing.
Exactly. But those are nice. It's like 75 pounds of weights. It's nice. Those power blocks where you can move the slots in and out and stuff like that. So they could be 5-pound weights. They could be big 75-pound weights.
Hell yeah.
And then my personal favorite, as you can see all the way above my right shoulder, is the banker's boxes that I use to block out the sun because there is no curtain over there. So
I was wondering what those were up there.
Yeah, it's just my cheap way of blocking out the sun because we are just the way the sun hits it glares directly into this.
I have little windows in my bedroom and like they're too small for like curtains. But I just got I put pillowcases up there for like blackout curtains.
I was gonna say like you do what you do in college where you get like the little nail. Where are these holes from? Couldn't tell you.
I don't know. Deposit, please.
Yeah, I know. The house that we moved into now has no blinds or curtains, and so yeah, I know. I told my wife we're getting curtains, right? And she's like, yeah, at some point. I'm like, we need to do this
right away.
Exactly, because I mean, thankfully we're on an east-west street, and the sun, our room faces south, so it's not like we have the sun directly into our space.
You don't want to be changing clothes and all the neighbors peeping up on you.
I mean, we are one of the taller houses on the block, so
everybody's looking.
Exactly. Just posing. Yeah, posing in front of my window, getting my Hulk Hogan on.
It's a beautiful morning.
It's like American Dad. Good morning, USA. Yes. Just in my tidy whities.
Perfect.
If I wore underwear.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
if, everybody. We're learning new things about Sean.
yeah. No one else sleeps in the nude. Speaking, I can't do it. I just worry about my sheets. Like, not that it's not a
Oh,
thing.
too many brown streaks over there.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you get your butt like a just shitting in my bed.
Shitting in my bed.
Went from wrestling.
Oh no, that was it.
What, you don't shit? What, you don't shit in your pants? Shit in your bed? Where else are you gonna shit? Oh, so I have to talk about this now.
Oh no!
I meant to bring it up. So,
welcome back to classic first couple episodes shit stories.
Yeah, I know. I know. So we talked about pooping ourselves. Oh man, I had I'll call it a 99%er. I had some food that wasn't agreeing with me. I let one sort of go, and then I went, that was a little too wet. I have to go run upstairs and check. And it was a little wet, but there was no there's no fecal matter. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what I did.
Oh.
But so I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about the conversation based around the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. The Philadelphia Eagles have a football play called the Tush Push.
Okay.
And apparently it is now sponsored by the brand Dude Wipes.
Dude Wipes. Okay.
Yeah. And every time, because they say like, oh, you can flush Dude Wipes on the toilet. You're not supposed to. So I don't get.
You can flush anything down the toilet.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot what they call it, like a turd berg or something like that. Or it's basically like when you get a blockage inside your pipes and stuff like that, and then it basically backs up onto your property because it's basically like a block.
Okay. Yeah.
Like some water can get through, but it can't. It's like an iceberg, but a turd.
A turd berg.
So it still doesn't make any sense to me because they're like, what am I supposed to do with Dew Wipes? So I was reading Reddit comments, I was looking at all this stuff, and they're like, just throw it in the trash. I'm like,
no,
you're wiping your ass with shit on it and throwing it in, like, well, you can get a cover on it. No,
that's stinky.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And then the other half of the conversation is, well, just get a bidet.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I mean, I like being clean, but it was just the idea of Dude Wipes or using wipes to clean to clean yourself. I was like, what are you doing with that? Because I have a son. He shits in a diaper. We put it in they call it a diaper genie and stuff like that. But like, I can't imagine getting something like that for myself.
You need a dude genie.
Dude genie. Yeah,
this is my dude genie.
I know. I just imagine like people coming in my bathroom. What's that? Oh, that's where I throw all my shit wipes. Like, that's the thing. It's like, oh God, that's just so disgusting. Because then I think about it, it's like, well, now I have to put this like I do it with my son's diapers, but I would have to like zip up the trash and put it in the trash can, and now I got someone else picking up my dude wipe bag, and it's just because I'm the sort of neat freak where I would have to throw my trash out every day if I did that, or if I. So
I get you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's try and get in the episode. It's been 10 minutes of shit talk. So. All right. So again, last week's show we watched Stadium Stampede. So this week we watched the Undertaker and Yokozuna casket match from the Royal Rumble in 1994. This match took place on January 22nd. I wrote down 2024. That's not when it happened. It happened in 1994.
That was last year.
Yeah, no. January 22nd, 1994 in Providence, Rhode Island at the Providence Civic Center.
Mm-hmm. That was a huge stadium. Like, there's a huge crowd.
Yes. Amazing. Well, Royal Rumble is like one of their bigger pay-per-views, so we'll talk about where the business was at this point in 1994. Other things that are kind of going on just for the people at home, and I know Brian doesn't know any of these things. I don't know why I keep burping. Yeah. This was the beginning, the pay-per-view where the Owen and Bret Hart feud, brother versus brother feud. Lex Luger, as I wrote out, is crashing out at this point.
Lex Luthor?
Luger, like the gun.
Oh, okay.
Gun. Yeah. So just to get into this, the rules of a casket match, as we talked over in our watch along. So there is no DQ, no pinfall, no submission. The only way to win is to place your opponent in a casket and lock it.
Has to be locked.
Yes, has to be locked. You can't just close the door on them. Mm-hmm. It's got to have that nice little padlock on it. And then I wanted to get this out of the way just so we wouldn't, because I said we'd talk about it last week, or I said we'd talk about it this week in last episode. how we got from the WWF to the WWE.
Yes. WWF was what this was under.
Yes, they were still a WWF at this point. So the story is that the World Wildlife Fund filed the trademark in 1961.
Okay.
Like they own the license to the WWF sort of logo. WWF was originally called the WWWF, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
Okay.
So they were that was under Vince's dad, Vince Sr. So Vince buys the company and changes it to WWF. They're obviously the actual WWF gets
They
very
were
upset
not
about that.
happy.
Yeah, so they file a lawsuit. It's based out of London, and they come to an agreement where World Wrestling Federation is allowed to use the logo, but they can't use Times Roman WWF. It's got to be like a weird conglomeration to the logo.
Okay.
So, but fast forward, it gets to be like the mid to late 90s. They change the logo, and then they start WWF, the wrestling company, starts filing domain names under that. They there was something else they did. They were filing some kind of trademark and stuff like that, and WWF went, the World Wildlife Fund, sorry, got pissed off about it. It's like, you're messing with the trademark, you're messing with the agreement, we're suing you, you can't use that. To which the wrestling company, sorry, I'm going to say the wrestling company and the wildlife company.
Okay.
The wrestling company was like, well, no one. When we came to this agreement in the 80s, no one could have foresaw the internet,
Right.
and like so. But eventually, the court in England does rule in the wildlife's favor. In basically, it goes all the way to 2002. So WWF cannot use the name at all.
Okay.
Like, they can't use World Wrestling Federation, they can't use the logo. So the way the logo was is they have like the W, another W kind of smaller inside of it, and then the F on the side. They basically just cut off the F, and it's just it's the W that we see now.
Okay.
And they officially rebrand as WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment.
Okay.
And it messes with everything, especially so
does it mess with like contracts and stuff, because everybody is contracted with WWF, and now I don't have a
not like
with
that, but it's as far as showing old content. Sometimes because the logo is on every turnbuckle, you watch some matches and they just completely, it's like 3 separate blurs to block out the logo because they can't show it and stuff like that. They've somehow gotten around that by now. Or if like they had the logo in the bottom right part of the screen, they would have to blur that out and stuff like that. So it's odd and chaos.
Because I mean, we watched it on Peacock, and it had the WWF logo.
Yeah, so like I said, they've eventually gotten around it and stuff like that. I don't know if they've come to some other agreement.
Okay.
All right. So
was there ever a WWW?
There was a WCCW World Class Championship Wrestling. There's an AW. I'm sure there was some smaller promotion. The bigger ones are like AWA, American Wrestling Association, FCW Florida Championship, NWA National Wrestling. I could just go on and this. It's just me just rattling off names, and then executive producer Dick Wolf as it fades off. So yeah, that's the story. So back to the match. In 1994, we have Vince McMahon himself on commentary with Ted DiBiase, and Vince is just talking over everything at this point. Howard Finkel's in the ring trying to call out Yokozuna, and Vince McMahon's like, "We're hearing wrong." Like, that's usually his thing. So they've moved on from the Gorilla Monsoon, Jesse Ventura commentary team, and now Vince has been run. This is actually Ted DiBiase's first ever commentary.
Who is Ted DiBiase?
Ted DiBiase. He's a single lady. So no, yeah, exactly. Ted DiBiase.
DiBiase.
Yeah, so he wrestles in Mid-South under his name, and then he also wrestles in WWE as the $1 Million Man, and he's basically this extravagant Donald Trump-esque, pays his way out of everything and stuff like that. Like his move was he would beat people, and then at the end of the match he would shove $100 bill in their mouths at the end of it. One of his better moments is so they do like stuff in the crowd, and he pulls this little boy out of the crowd and he's like, "Hey, I'll give you $200 if you can dribble this basketball 10 times."
Okay.
So it's this like 8-year-old. So he dribbles 1, 2, 3, 4. Like he gets up to like 6 or 7, and DiBiase just smacks the ball out of his hand.
So he's a bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's a bad guy, but he's since retired. I think he was dealing some injuries at this point, so they're trying him out on commentary.
Okay.
It's not really well liked, not really well known, but it is kind of fun. So Ted DiBiase was actually the one that introduced the Undertaker in 1990 at Survivor Series.
Okay.
So Ted DiBiase, still wrestling at that point, had a mystery partner, and this is when the Undertaker debuts.
So tell me a little about this Undertaker fella. Where's he come from? Is he dead?
He is known as the Dead Man. He originally wrestles in other companies under his name. He's known as Mean Mark. He's known as the Punisher. He eventually makes his way over to WWF, and they give him the character of the Undertaker.
Okay.
He's originally managed by another manager. His name is Brother Love.
Okay.
He's like a Billy Graham televangelist sort of, and he has this urn, and we find out that all the Undertaker's power comes from this urn, and then eventually they put him with the aptly named Paul Bearer.
Amazing.
Yeah, the story behind that is they're trying to figure out names. The guy's real name is Percy Pringle.
That's so good too. That's such a good name.
Yeah, he was in the Texas company World Class as Percy Pringle III. They're trying to figure out names for him, and then one of the Road Warriors, his name's Road Warrior Hawk, goes, "Hey, what if your name was Paul Bearer?" And so it goes through it. Paul Bearer and Undertaker would actually go from town to town in a hearse. Like they would live the gimmick and stuff like that. So they were pretty good together. They're together for a while. So sorry, I'm trying to find my place in the notes. So yeah, that's the Undertaker has been WWF champion at this point. He's wrestled Hulk Hogan. Unfortunately, because the Undertaker moves so well and he's one of the bigger guys, he usually gets put with the people that can't move that well.
Yeah, he was fast, he was athletic, he was moving around, he was climbing up on the ropes. Like, just because he's tall, like he's really tall, so like proportionally he's going to be bigger, but like he was fast.
So he is he's considered one of the best quote unquote big men of all time. Like, and he's definitely he's usually on the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
Okay.
He's like one of the four. It's like if you ask especially people around
I knew the name Undertaker. Like I knew who Undertaker was.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those people that sort of transcends the sport, like your Stone Colds and your Rocks and stuff like that. Because he definitely his character could be very over the top and very cheesy, but they commit to it, and it's grounded at least in something, and it helps that he's a good wrestler. I don't know what would have happened if he was the shits.
Sure, yeah.
But the previous WrestleMania, he goes against wrestler. His name is Giant Gonzalez, and it's like considered one of the worst matches of all time. It's just. Yeah, so he usually can turn, as they say, chicken shit into chicken salad.
All right. Hate to eat that, but yeah.
So the announcers are sort of building this up as Yokozuna comes out. They're saying this is the first time the title has ever been defended in a casket match, which could be true. Could have happened on a house show.
So these casket matches, are they common?
So that's what I was about to say. So the first WWF casket match, I had to Google this, was in 1992.
Okay.
And that was also the Undertaker, and it was versus another character called I think it's called the Ugandan Giant. His name's Kamala. And it sort of becomes Undertaker's match is a casket match.
Okay.
It eventually gets turned into a buried alive match where they have literally a mound of dirt and you have to pour dirt on your opponent.
Oh man.
Yeah, so funny story about that. I'm sure we'll watch the match at some point. He eventually goes against Mankind, or I think it's Mankind, and they get Undertaker in the hole, but they didn't realize how long it was going to take to actually cover him.
Okay.
And so they're just struggling. He's like, we were so tired, and it's the last thing you want to do is pick up a shovel and just keep burying dirt on. So casket matches are not that common. This is sort of them bringing it out. And then they didn't really talk about this in the match, but in prior episodes of Raw, they had shown that Yokozuna, who has been this big behemoth force, is scared of caskets, which
Oh, okay.
exactly, yeah, did not come across in the match at
No,
all.
no.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. As far as casket matches in general, there's a rumor, or supposedly there's a match between wrestlers named Dusty Rhodes and his name is Ivan Koloff in the 1970s. So it's not a real common match, but it has been done before.
Okay.
So Yokozuna, he's coming out with his managers, Mr. Fuji, who's a very famous manager. He's managed a lot of tag teams, managed a lot of wrestlers. They pair him because Yokozuna's Samoan, Mr. Fuji's Japanese, and then we didn't really get to hear a lot of them, but we got to see the very famous James E. Cornette, who was the other guy in the suit with the tennis racket, who is helping backstage at the time and is also he's considered one of the best managers of all time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, managed the Midnight Express, manages Yokozuna, he manages Vader at one point a little bit later. And then the gong hits, and the first person we see out front is Paul Bearer, Mr. Percy Pringle, who is actually a real life funeral director.
I could see that. I could see him being a real life funeral director.
Yeah, so like had his own family business and stuff like that. So always had something to fall back on. Comes out and he's pushing the full-on casket, and you don't see the Undertaker, so the first insinuation is that the Undertaker's in the casket, which is what Brian thought.
I thought, yeah.
And then we get to see our first shot of the urn that's just sitting on top of the casket. And then Undertaker's not in the casket, he is following behind in the shadows.
In all darkness.
Yes, with his I call cousin it hair, basically, where it's just like completely covering his face. It's like, how does he see up? But hey, it looked like it smelled great. So he gets to the ring, and they don't make a big deal out of this. I don't know if you noticed it, but the Undertaker gets to the ring. He opens up his cloak, and then he raises his arms up, and then the lights magically come up.
I didn't even.
Yes, it's. Again, like Vince and Ted DiBiase just keep talking over everything, and they don't let anything breathe.
The loudest people in the room.
Yeah, so that's sort of like the Undertaker's supernatural powers is he can raise up the lights and stuff like that. Eventually, he can call down lightning. He can be lit on fire. Like we haven't scratched the surface of where the Undertaker is at this point.
He's basically Jason X at this point.
Yeah, we'll talk about. He's basically Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Like, he's just unkillable. They then mentioned the bonsai drop, which...
Did they ever do a bonsai drop?
No, they didn't. So the bonsai drop is a move that Yokozuna does. So he drags his opponent to the corner, one of the corners. Yokozuna gets on the second rope, sort of facing the turnbuckle. He kind of jumps up and down, and then he just drops his big ass right on you, right. So it's the bonsai drop.
Perfect.
And he can do it fairly safe. He can sort of like drop onto his feet and then sort of sit down into it. There's a story that there was a local talent who they brought in, and he was making fun of Mr. Fuji behind his back, and Yokozuna found out. And so instead of they call it taking care of your opponent, Yokozuna just flat out sat on him. Yeah, just dropped all the weight on him. So
that's what you get.
Exactly. So the match sort of begins, and it's Undertaker all the way out. He's using all these punches, using all these clotheslines, and eventually he knocked Yokozuna out the ring. And as Brian noted, Yokozuna, very smoothly,
he can flip.
Yeah, that's sort of the thing with Yokozuna is like at this point in his career, before he had the weight problem, he moved really well.
I'm sorry, did you say before he had a weight problem? He was big in this one. Did he get bigger?
Yeah, he gets like 500 pounds at this. Like and stops moving around very well, and eventually, like him and Vader, later in like 1995, 1996, gets sent to a weight loss clinic because they're just so big.
Okay.
They're trying to get him to lose weight. So, but yeah, he moves pretty well. They start brawling on the outside, and then we get Yokozuna, who either he could fit under the bottom rope or he didn't want to. He rolls himself over the bottom rope.
Yeah.
Not over. Which I thought was pretty fun. I don't see that a whole bunch. And then we get they call this old school. It's not called old school Undertaker. The move is called old school, where the Undertaker gets up on the rope and starts walking across it. Which,
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
yeah, he has to maintain his balance and get all the way up there and stuff. It becomes what he's known for and stuff like that. So like eventually later on in his career, he'll people crowd going old school.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. They eventually get back to the outside and they start fighting over a chair.
Yeah.
And then we get some pretty nice chair shots. But eventually,
Yokozuna really gave the Undertaker a good smack with that chair.
I think you might be thinking of the one with the stairs. I don't know, maybe.
Maybe.
Because like Yokozuna tries for the chair, but Undertaker takes it away from him and hits him across the back. So then Yokozuna kind of falls to the corner, but he picks up the salt.
Yes.
And then throws it in the Undertaker's eyes, and that becomes a big thing. Mr. Fuji usually does that, but Yokozuna did it in this match.
I was like, what's this bucket of salt doing out here?
Yeah, so Yoko just kind of starts to go to work on the Undertaker, and this is where Yoko gets the upper hand. There's an interesting chair shot where Undertaker's on the stairs, and Yoko throws doesn't just straight at flat hit him on the chair. He kind of curves the chair around and really whaps Undertaker in the middle of the head.
That's the one I was thinking.
Yes, yeah, I figured that's what you were talking about. And then I wanted to see more James E. Cornette because he had his tennis racket, which he normally has. He uses as a weapon.
Okay.
Yeah. So his whole bit was he was from he's from the Tennessee territory. I can't remember what it's called. I don't think it's called Continental and stuff like that, but it's Jerry Lawler's territory. But his actual story is his mom would take him to the matches and stuff like that, and eventually he becomes I think he becomes a photographer, or he does something, and then eventually he becomes a manager, and like he is from a very well-known Tennessee family. I think his father ran a newspaper or something like that, so he had money, but they basically bill him as like a rich kid. And so he's like country club, tennis racket, and stuff like that.
Okay.
So he comes out in suits, but for this he was wearing a full-on bedazzled tuxedo, and on the back of it there were tennis rackets.
Sharp.
Exactly. I'm sure I'll show you some. Jim Cornette's got some very good promos. Don't hold are a little lack a little cultural sensitivity now. So he was doing really well. He was doing NWA in 2020, and he just threw one of his little Jim Cornetteisms out. Two wrestlers were chasing one another, and he's like, he's looking at him like, he's running after him like he's Ethiopia. God, I'm messing this up. Exactly. So I want to look this. Jim Cornette, Ethiopia. I didn't spell that right. What did he say? Sorry, I can cut the. Here it is. Oh, great ads. He's the only man I've ever known that can strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia.
I don't even know what that means.
That means he's calling the other guy tough. So it's like he can strap a thing of chicken to himself and drive through a place where people are notoriously hungry. And survive.
Got it. Okay.
So there's an uproar, and he eventually just quits. He has his own show. It's worth a listen every once in a while and stuff like that when he's not reviewing current stuff, and he's a very good storyteller. He's very funny. So yeah. All right. So that's James E. Cornette. We then get the first sort of roll into the coffin, and as I noted in our watch along, there's a ref there who opens the coffin for them, which I thought was
ready
cheating.
To go. Here we go. Get him in.
Exactly. It's like, hey. And usually, like when we have these like no DQ matches, it's like.
But like there was no way that Yokozuna would have been able to open that and then close it back up from where he was.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a time thing and stuff like that, because this whole thing lasts about like whole beginning to start last 25 minutes. So I'm sure if it's like him having to go in and then him having to go out and stuff like that.
Because he would have had to like jump out of the ring, open it up, jump back in, push him in. I know it.
So they try closing. Undertaker gets rolled into the coffin. The ref just slowly closes it on him
Yeah.
on top of his head, and then Undertaker gets back out, starts choking Yokozuna. They get back in the ring, and then we see. So everyone talks about there's a choke slam that Hulk Hogan takes in 2002, 2003 that is considered one of the worst choke slams of all time. Like Undertaker grabs Hulk Hogan, you can see him going, all right, the way you take a choke slam is the person taking it is supposed to jump
Is
up.
the jumper, yeah.
And Undertaker sort of lifts with you and then slams you back down. You see Undertaker go to all right, we're gonna go here, prep, go, and Hulk doesn't do it.
Oh no! So truly, Undertaker's just really lifting him up by his.
Well, his feet, Hulk's feet never leave the ground.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's like Undertaker goes for it again and kind of just throws him to the ground. And that's considered but this choke slam I think is even worse than that because Yoko doesn't do anything but just flat backs to the ground. It's like, oh, maybe that was the world's worst choke slam. So Yokozuna falls to the ground, and apparently that out of everything, that was enough to take Yoko out because Yoko is, I'm just start calling Yoko because he's not John and Yoko, he's Yokozuna, but it's just easier to call Yoko. I wrote it down in my notes as shorthand as Yoko. So Yoko brings him back down he rolls him into the casket, and then we start fighting over the urn with Mr. Fuji and Paul Bearer, which is completely missed on camera, so it completely misses the mark. But then we got our first run-in of one of many.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. So now Crush comes out, and Yokozuna is now stuck in the casket, passed out, so he gets to take a breather for a minute. Now Undertaker's...
We've seen Crush. Crush, was he the window guy, the guy thrown through the window? Who was the guy thrown through?
No, that was Marty Jannetty.
Okay.
Crush has gone through many iterations. He was part of the Demolition Tag Team. He then he's Hawaiian, so like Hawaiian Crush. I don't know.
Was he in the family? Was he in the family match we watched?
No, he was. We've never seen Crush before.
Okay.
So Undertaker fights Crush. He beats up Crush, and then out comes out of nowhere the Great Kabuki, who is a very famous Japanese wrestler, but is a little older at this point. Coming in his purple sweatpants, his little pajama pants.
Got Kabuki makeup on.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if people knew who he was. WWF at this time was notorious for bringing in, I'll call them foreign wrestlers for the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
We don't really know. You haven't seen a Royal Rumble. You don't really know what it is, but yeah, it's a big match with a lot of people. But then also out comes Genshiro Tenryu, who's just another. I was like, wait a minute, is that Tenryu? Like, what is Tenryu doing out here? And then, as I said in the watch along, out came Taz. And by Taz, I mean Bam Bam Bigelow. For those of you that remember our previous episode in which Brian thought Taz was Bam Bam Bigelow. So this was actually Bam Bam Bigelow, but Brian completely missed it and wrote down Taz.
I wrote down Taz. I was like, yep, okay, cool. Got a new name.
So in between this, they keep cutting back and forth, but like Yoko's still in the air.
So why are these people running out? Like, what's going on here?
Everyone hates the Undertaker. They want to see him dead.
Everybody hates the Undertaker.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's some kind of context somewhere, but the insinuation is Mr. Fuji paid all these people to come out and fight him.
Were they all in other matches that night?
I think a lot of who would have been in Bam Bam Bigelow was definitely in another match. I don't think anybody else was, but they would have all been in the Royal Rumble at the end of the night.
Okay.
So it's not like they were there just specifically for this.
Yeah.
And then also, I guess this is actually when they stole the urn. Mr. Paul Bearer gets it back. He kicks Mr. Fuji in the groin, gets it, and then raises the urn up. And as the Undertaker is getting beaten down, the Undertaker now raises up like Michael, and he starts fighting everybody back. Which I don't know what it says about these wrestlers if they can't beat this guy 6-on-1 at this. Exactly, and then it keeps...
there are plenty of times where I'm just like, he's fighting 1-on-1, and everyone's just like, looking at him, looking at each other. What should we do? Well, gang up on the guy.
Yeah, Adam Bomb comes out, who has a nuclear bomb. theme, and then we get the country singer Jeff Jarrett in what was deemed his dick dancer outfit.
Amazing.
Well, yeah, so it's basically like it was termed by Eric Bischoff. He wears like pants, and then he wears like this collar, but then it's like striped down. So it's like you look like a fucking Chippendales dancer. So they start calling it the dick dancer outfit and stuff like that. But he's also got the headband. Jeff Jarrett, one of my favorites, very, very good guy. Still kind of wrestling up until this point.
Okay.
So then it's again, Undertaker gets back up and starts fighting everybody. And then the Head Shrinkers come out, which is another tag team, and they start just beating on him. I think at one point they take the salt bucket and they just start hitting him.
That's right. Yeah.
And the Undertaker's just laying there, so I just went, is he dead? Are they killing him? Like right now, they curb stomping the shit out of him. At one point, the crowd, even though they didn't really like him at the time, start chanting Lex Luger, expecting Luger to come out and help him. That doesn't happen. And then, like Brian said, everyone just kind of starts standing around, not knowing what to do. Like they're sort of forgetting like who's supposed to do what because there's so many of them.
They're like, he's on his back. Why isn't the ref calling anything? They forgot it was a coffin match.
So Diesel, Kevin Nash, who's kind of starting out at this point, who you've actually seen is the great and powerful Oz.
Ooh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that's Kevin Nash. He comes out as Diesel. One of the bigger guys in the matches starts kicking him around. And then Paul Bearer just sort of gets up on the apron where there's like 10 people in the ring beating up this guy, holding up the urn. And I was like, why doesn't someone do something about that? And Yoko eventually hits Paul with gets the urn out of his hand, and they open up the urn and
don't do it.
Yeah,
don't open it up.
And the Undertaker's spirit comes out, or as I like to say, all the Undertaker's farts, because it's just
green smoke.
Yeah, it was really well done. Green. It was a really well made prop where all this green, the smoke came out for a good 30 seconds. Where it's like, Jesus Christ,
it was great.
Like, yeah. So they keep fighting, they keep hitting the Undertaker, but the Undertaker is not selling any move. So they jump on him multiple times, he just doesn't move. I'm like, huh, is he dead?
He's dead.
Yeah, exactly. So the Undertaker is the spirit is leaving. He's losing all his power. Eventually, they roll him into the casket. Oh, something we forgot to talk about is Yokozuna. There was a great shot with Yokozuna in the casket where they cut back and it's just him from the neck up. I called it his MySpace photo, where it's like you taking a photo of yourself or you taking a photo with your MacBook back in the day. Like that's what that looked like. So they roll the Undertaker into the casket and they get him inside the casket. Everyone's like, there's like 3 people laying on it. Jeff Jarrett's yelling at everybody. He's like, hey guys, come on, we gotta get this done.
Traffic.
Yeah, he's got like the flashlights, like he's directing an airplane. So eventually they do put the lock on, and the Undertaker is now defeated.
He's gone.
Exactly. Apparently, shoving someone in a casket means they are automatically dead. You can't.
I mean, I've never been in a casket and been alive.
I have actually been in. So I was in a show in high school in which. I think it's called The Visit. It's a very interesting show. It's basically prior to the show starting, so like the pre-story, this woman is raped in this town, and the town basically drives her out, doesn't believe her, and she comes back as this wealthy heiress, and now she wants to punish the person that did it, and she's like, I will give this town however many millions of dollars if you kill him. And it becomes this town going, no, we're not going to do it.
And everybody's doing it.
Yeah, eventually they do it. But one of the bits in the show is her butler is seen bringing in a casket for him in the beginning of the show. So in that show, I laid in that casket just to try it out. I was actually very comfortable.
Well,
I don't get claustrophobic in those things, apparently. Maybe if you like buried me under like Kill Bill style.
Then you would be a little claustrophobic.
Yeah, exactly. So they eventually just start taking the casket. Like, I don't know what the hell they're going to do with it. It's like, hey, so they're going to go drinking out with it, like a Weekend at Bernie's style. Like, we got a dead body. And they hit their mark, and then we hear the Undertaker's gong hit. I'm like, oh my God, what happened?
I thought he was going to like show up on the other side of the ring. I thought this was going to be some sort of Houdini box.
God, I can't remember who he faces, but in one of the Buried Alive matches, he does raise his arm through.
Okay.
So from the dirt and stuff like that. There is one point where I think lightning hits a casket. He's lit on fire during during another match. Like, this is not the first time the Undertaker is going to get resurrected. So,
Dang.
yeah, dang. So there are many sequels in this story.
All right.
And then eventually the green smoke starts coming out from under it, to which I insinuated he was just in there farting.
I mean, what else do you got to do when you're in a box?
Yeah, you got to go.
Hot boxes.
And then it cuts to the video board where I'm fairly certain they filmed him standing inside of the coffin. Like, they put the coffin up against a wall and stuff like that. But it's insinuating that the camera's inside the coffin, which, oh my God.
How did that happen?
Exactly. And then we get the Undertaker's famous lines like, the spirit of the Undertaker lives in the souls of all mankind. It will live forever. And there's some electricity. And then all of a sudden, it's just like someone's making a shadow puppet on the wall, and it's the Undertaker is then raised to the heavens.
He's gone.
Exactly. And then they're insinuating that he's levitating, and I'm sure you could see it in the live crowd, but on TV you couldn't tell what was happening. It's like, I just see feet, I see smoke. Like, it could have been anything. But it does eventually go all the way up into the ceiling with like this whole shot. So yes, the spirit of the Undertaker will live on forever. Will the Undertaker come back? We'll see.
It'd be funny if his soul lived on in Mankind, the wrestler.
So that's also, so I thought about this. So Paul Bearer eventually does manage Mankind. Mankind doesn't come in for another 2 years.
Okay.
So I guarantee you they were not thinking that far ahead. But sure. I thought that was a nice little nugget. Was like, the souls of all mankind. I was like, oh, fun. So Brian,
yes,
after all that, we've seen wrestling holds. We've seen a whole bunch. How did you feel about this match when we watched it?
This was messy. This match was messy. There was a lot of like throat chops and stuff, and like none of them really sold to me. It was just a lot of bodies hitting bodies in this match.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out stuff for you to watch, and like, I still haven't found the groove of like, there needs to be some kind of theatricality going on, but they need to be able to wrestle.
Yeah, a little bit. But, this was fine.
Yeah, exactly. But imagine watching this as, I'm sure, how old would you have been? How old were you in 1994?
I would have been 5. January. How does math work? I would have been 4.
Yeah.
Would have been 4.
Okay. Well, imagine watching the dead man. Like,
I don't think I would have remembered it.
But just imagine you as a child watching this. It's like, is the Undertaker, like, would you have believed that the Undertaker was dead?
I would have believed anything. I would have believed anything as a 4-year-old.
Oh my God.
I'm a what, 35-year-old. I'll still pretty much believe anything. Still, somebody tells me.
Yeah. So I listened prior to recording this episode. I listened to a podcast. It's called Something to Wrestle. It's a former WWE producer. He's now a current producer, but he had a podcast talking about shows, and he was one of the producer on this match. And he's like, at this point, like, WWF it's not supposed to be full on wrestling. It's supposed to be sports entertainment. He starts calling it Broadway.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. It's supposed to have that sense of theatricality. It's like, it's supposed to have a story to it. Mm-hmm. Whether that story is good or not, or makes sense or not, it's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So the story behind the match is that Undertaker wants to take time off, and so that they have to figure out a way to write him off TV for a little bit until he could come back. So he wanted time off. His wife at that time was having a baby, and then he was trying to recover from a bunch of injuries at that point. So like, goes to Vince McMahon's like, can I have some time off? It's like, yeah. And then it's like, how do we get him off TV? Well, what if he died? Exactly.
Well, the only way you're going to leave this company is in a coffin. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay.
And they talk about it in the podcast, like, who thought this up? And like, he can't really remember. And it's like, it's just one of those things. You're in a group of people and you're trying to, it's like, well, what if this happened? What if this happened? What if this happened? So
Say that again. He dies. Yeah, like that.
And they talk about they just in the podcast I listened to, they talk about the wrestling quote unquote reporter Dave Meltzer. This was considered one of the worst matches of the show.
This one was?
Yes, considering like we talked about, there is no wrestling in this match. It is all
yeah.
It's more of a brawl, and
Mhm.
Undertaker does a lot of the work. Yokozuna kind of flops around and stuff like that, but kind of runs out of gas real
He
quick.
does, yeah. He was good at the beginning. I thought like the beginning was actually fairly put together.
Yeah, so I have to be honest with you, I never watched this. I knew what happened. I had seen the segment that happens of him going to the heaven, but I never actually watched the match. So when I watched, I was like, oh, there's not a ton of wrestling in this. Do I really? We'll still watch it and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
It's worth it
like,
for context.
exactly. And then it was very spooky. Like I said, we're getting into Halloween. Someone died.
That is spooky.
Exactly. He rose to heaven. He's a ghost now. So I can sort of give you a little bit more context of where we are in the business at the time. So Lex Luger had faced Yokozuna at SummerSlam earlier in the year, and it did not go well. They tried to push Lex Luger as the new Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is retired at this point, so they're trying to push something. It's just not working. People are jumping behind Bret Hart. Hogan's out. Macho's on his way out. And they're just not building up any new stars and stuff like that. And the business, like, it goes from like they were at Mount Everest in like the late 80s to early 90s, and now it's sort of it's not bad, but it's not where it was.
Yeah.
And so WCW is kind of doing the same thing at this point. They're kind of like doing all this weird melodrama shit that people just aren't connecting with, because like WWF and those kids from the 80s are now starting to become teenagers. It's like, well, this seems like it's meant for kids at this point. It's not meant for adults, and that's how we eventually go into the Attitude Era as it gets a little bit more adult.
Okay.
So this is a little bit before. So it's 1994. Attitude Era doesn't start in earnest until
Attitude Era.
So we can kind of talk about it, especially with our next segment, where it gets a little bit more. It becomes more real and becomes less focused around characters and more about people.
Reality TV
so it's like,
type of thing.
Exactly.
These are the people. These aren't the wrestlers.
Yeah, this it's like very. I think Jerry Springer, like South Park, like that kind of humor. The writer's name is Vince Russo at the time. Loved Howard Stern, so it's more shock than it is.
It felt. I mean, we're breaching onto the next, but it felt very Jerry Springer-esque.
Yeah, exactly. So let's actually go into our next segment. Any last thoughts you have about Yokozuna and the Undertaker?
No, it was good. It was fun.
Yes, yeah. All right. That not the most ridiculous thing we will watch. As I've insinuated, we're gonna watch people in monster trucks in a couple weeks. So, let's move into our Everything Is Wrestling segment. And so Brian has been fixated on guns.
Someone's gonna get blown away in one of these wrestling matches. I know it.
Exactly. It's like, why is no one bringing a gun? People have been lit on fire in matches. They've been drowned. They've been buried alive. They've been
Someone
buried in
needs to bring a gun to a wrestling fight.
Exactly. Yeah. So I thought it was only fitting that we watched the segment between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Brian Pillman from November of 1996, which happened on Monday Night Raw. So for those of you that don't know, I recommend looking it up. You can find it on YouTube. The pre-story to this match is Stone Cold and Brian Pillman were originally a tag team in WCW.
Were they both good guys? I always thought Stone Cold was a good guy.
He was not Stone Cold at that point.
Is Stone Cold his bad guy persona?
Yes, he was. He was known as Stunning Steve Austin. So he had as we talked. I don't know if we talked about on air. He had a skullet where he was thinning on top, but he had this long blonde hair in the back.
Oh, okay.
And then Brian Pillman had this big poofed out, permed, curly blonde hair, and they were known as the Hollywood Blondes.
Okay.
As a tag team, they're eventually broken up. Stone Cold is then fired out of WCW. Goes to ECW, comes to WWF, is teamed with again Ted DiBiase, and is known as the Ringmaster.
Okay,
because he's very technically sound, and then eventually he develops the Stone Cold gimmick. A little, I think it's in this year. Yeah, no, it's in 1996. It happens in 1996 at King of the Ring. So he. And that is based around the Iceman Richard Kuklinski, which, if you've seen the Michael Shannon movie, The Iceman, He's like one of the most he's like, they call him a serial killer, but he was like a hitman for the mob, and it's
Okay.
like stone cold,
Got it.
basically. So like no feeling and stuff like that. Brian stays in WCW. He develops this quote unquote loose cannon gimmick where you don't know what's real and what's not, what's him playing pretend, because he says a lot of stuff and is just very odd and is very off the wall and stuff like that. So he eventually goes to ECW, where he threatens to take out his dick and piss in the ring in the middle of a match. Yeah, exactly. So like, again, like it's very like shock. Like he was definitely in that ethos of like, I need to shock people, I need to get people talking and stuff like that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Brian has a big of a drug and drinking problem and crashes his Humvee and severely injures his ankle.
Okay.
And Brian had been dealing with a whole bunch of injuries his entire life. He was in and out of hospitals. That's why he had the raspy voice. He had something wrong with his throat. He is signed to a deal. I don't know if the injury happens before or after. He gets signed to the WWF. So he's there as like they throw him in as like a commentator, basically like an in-ring interviewer. And so Bret Hart, who's friends with Brian Pillman, I'll eventually get to the end of the story. Stone Cold hits Brian Pillman and then slams a cane over his leg.
Oh, shoot.
So that's how his ankle was messed up. But his ankle, quote unquote, in real life, I think had to get fused. So like he needed the surgery, and he's never the same. He's never flying Brian Pillman. And unfortunately, Brian passes away in 1997.
Oh, just a year later.
Yeah, exactly. Like a year almost. I think it's like September, October of 97.
Okay.
So this particular segment, they're coming to you live from Brian's home in suburban Ohio, but it says they were in Walton, Kentucky.
Yeah, why did it say the wrong place?
So it's like it's over the border, like Ohio and Kentucky are like this, but it just doesn't make sense. And it was also very confusing because it said where they were in Raw, and I think they were in a separate town. I can't remember where it said. I think they were in Indiana or something.
Okay.
So it was just like, where actually are they? So they're at Brian Pillman's house.
I don't think the interior matched the exterior of the houses.
Yeah. Well, that is, I'm not exactly sure about that, but I'm pretty sure that was Brian's house.
Okay.
At least I don't know if it was the outside, but that was definitely the inside of his house.
Okay.
So Brian is stuck inside with his wife, who doesn't really do anything. That was his actual wife at the time. And Kevin Kelly is having an interview with him of like, do you feel a victim, or do you feel trapped in your own house? He's like, no, I don't feel trapped in my own house. To which Vince somehow can talk to Brian Pillman, even though he's exactly like they can somehow hear him, because this is like a live broadcast, basically, or supposedly a live broadcast, even though it was pre-taped. At least the segment was. He insinuates like, oh, Stone Cold's in the neighborhood. Are you scared? And what does Brian Pillman pull out saying he's not scared?
He pulls out a gun.
I know. He finally got our gun. He's like, when Austin 316, which is Austin's catchphrase, meets Glock 9mm or something like Glock 3, whatever it is. Didn't really look like a real gun or something like that, but pulls it out. And then everyone starts freaking out.
Yeah.
And then these segments happen over the course of a Raw. So the next time we see Stone Cold is outside fighting supposedly Brian Pillman's friends,
his friends
or
or
something.
bodyguards or something.
Yeah, and then Stone Cold's just whipping him around. He throws a guy into a kiddie pool, throws a whole trash can on a guy. The guy from the kiddie pool comes back. He throws him back in the kiddie pool.
He's ripping these guys' shirts off.
I know. And then Stone Cold knocks on the door after all this. He's like, hey,
let me in.
Exactly.
I just want to talk.
So he cuts around. Stone Cold stuck. Yeah, I'm not gonna kick the shit out of you. Wink, wink. So he cuts around the side of the house, and then the camera cuts, and it just cuts to Brian Pillman holding the gun up at the door, like, I'm ready for you. I'm gonna kill him and stuff like that. Everyone's screaming, and then what happens? Stone Cold busts out a window. Yeah, so it was very well done, like, because there's like an L shape to the room, so like. Pillman's in his small living room where he's got all his sports memorabilia, because he actually was a football player for the Cincinnati Bengals for a very hot second. It then cuts around the corner, and Stone Cold's busting out the window with, it sounds like a hammer, because it's like he's not punching it with his hand.
Right.
and then his wife, Brian Pillman's wife, starts screaming, and then it cuts. It's
bang, bang, bang. Nobody's been
yeah.
hit.
Yeah, I know. Stone Cold busts through the window, and then it cuts back to this wild shot of Brian Pillman, like, just got this crazy look on his eye, and he's like, "Oh my god, he's gonna shoot him!" And then it goes to static, and it's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god!" And then it cuts for like maybe 5 seconds. It cuts back, and now everyone's separated, and everyone's just freaking out. Vince McMahon's on the commentary going, "Is anybody shot? Get a medic in here!" Oh my god, it's like a bad shooting or something.
You got
like
somebody, call the police.
I know, exactly. Jerry the King Lawler, people insinuate that he got a little too into it because he's like, "Call the police! Someone grab the gun!" Because eventually Stone Cold is not shocked, but Stone Cold eventually does run back in, and then they start fighting again. You don't see the gun again, but then it sort of cuts out. So, Brian, how did you feel about your first wrestling segment with a gun?
It was unhinged.
Yeah, so
I can understand why guns aren't part of wrestling now.
Exactly, it makes it a little too real.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine doing this now?
Oh man,
of someone doing a home invasion and then someone has a gun. Like, well, I will say Brian Pillman was well in his rights to shoot him at that point.
Sure.
He was in reasonable fear that Stone Cold was going to kick the shit out of him. So, I'm not sure if Ohio is a stand your ground state, exactly. So, but even in 1996, USA Network, where this aired, was not happy. They got like sponsors were calling, is like, "This is unacceptable." That, like, this, it crossed a line to the point where Vince McMahon has to go. He does a pre-tape segment for the next Raw going, well, like, it's sports entertainment basically, and sort of has to like apologize. And this is, we're motioning into what they call the Attitude Era.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily anybody's like, we called it the Attitude Era after the fact, basically, because it's like WWF, they have attitude or something like that.
They're getting angsty now.
Exactly. And so, like, it's getting more real, it's getting more violent, it's getting less cartoony and more unhinged, as you said. So this is definitely something a good Christian boy like Brian definitely would not have been watching back in the day. He was watching McGee and Me.
That's right. There's no guns in McGee and Me.
I know. I just want to see.
Can you imagine McGee comes out with a gun? We're gonna save Jesus.
It's like Family Guy. It's like, Jesus Christ, what? Get in the Escalade. We're getting out of here. So no, that was just a fun little segment. It's definitely one of the more famous segments in all of wrestling, just because how ridiculous it is and how much they all commit to it and stuff like that. And Brian Pillman and his loose cannon gimmick, unfortunately got injured himself, wasn't the wrestler he was, and then eventually we lose his voice and stuff like that in wrestling, because he was doing a lot of fun stuff. And later on the following year, he has a match for ownership of another wrestler's knife. The wrestler's name's Goldust, and his wife is Terry. So he gets ownership of Terry, and he films like almost like a Pamela Lee, Tommy Lee insinuated sex tape with her.
Oh man, that's attitude.
Exactly. So it's like they're trying to hit the whole Jerry Springer, Howard Stern, Jock Stuff with him. And who knows where it would have gone. My favorite Goldust thing, though, is when they were making fun of the OJ trial. Goldust is this very flamboyant character. He's supposed to be like a Hollywood movie star and stuff like that. And he faces Roddy Piper in a backlot brawl. A Hollywood, and eventually Roddy Piper jumps on the hood of Goldust's car, and Goldust speeds away, and Roddy gets thrown off, and then jumps into another car, and then it turns into the OJ chase to the arena. So they got the camera above and stuff like that. So it was very ridiculous. But I thought it would. I can't remember what made me think this, but I just thought they eventually phone in Roddy Piper from his car as he's chasing Goldust. Like, it would have been funnier if Roddy never gets off the hood and he's just on a cell phone. Yeah, I'm stuck on here, bitch. So we'll definitely be revisiting some stuff from this era, because there's the choppy your pee stuff, the Hulk Hogan beer bath. Hulk Hogan does, or not Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, the Stone Cold beer bath.
Okay.
There's a lot of fun stuff that happens around this time that's just completely ridiculous. So that was our Everything is Wrestling segment. All right, that'll about do it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us on the Wrestling Without Context podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on our YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, leave us a nice review. It helps the algorithm. You can join us on Patreon, where you can receive this podcast and bonus content for only $1. You can also find us on most forms of social media. It was annoying the shit out of me. I couldn't see.
Oh, I was like, what was?
My mic arm is blocking it.
This is my mic arm.
You can also find us on most forms of social media. We're on Twitter at WrestlingWOCNTXT. We're on Instagram at WrestlingWithoutCNTXT. We're on TikTok at WrestlingWithoutCNTXT. And you can click on the link tree for this podcast wherever you're consuming it for easy access to all our content and socials.
Twice in an episode. Boom.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting good. I don't want to say what we're doing for the next episode. Hopefully we get our interview good to go. Brian and I have had to... Because of both of our heavy schedules, Brian's going on a nice little vacation. I am.
It's my birthday.
What is your birthday, Brian?
It's the 14th.
The 14th. Okay, so everyone, if you're listening,
that's why I'm taking a little trip for myself.
Yes. What was it? We will. I'll wish you a very happy future happy birthday on September 14th.
Thanks.
Yes. Brian and I have had to record these back to back. So it's been 3 consecutive weeks now. We did PWG, we did Stadium Stampede, and now we did this. So now we're gonna have a nice little break before we come back. Brian, anything before you go safely on your way for your travels?
Anything before I safely go on the way? I was Silk Song got released to yesterday. I think it's the new Hollow Knight game. I didn't get it, but I am playing the original Hollow Knight because I've never beat it. So just trying to get myself back in. It's a Metroidvania.
It's a platformer, right?
Yeah.
I don't have the patience for them, and I don't have the dexterity. Like, it's just like every time I'm like, I'm gonna go back and play Super Mario, and it's like, nope, can't do it.
Can't do it.
Yep. I did get into Snake Eater, Metal Gear Solid 3.
Tell me about it.
It's very fun. It's like you're my video game therapist. It's like, tell me about that.
Tell me about a time that the Snake Eater got you.
I love the Metal Gear Solid series. They switched it up for this one. They gave you a new camera, and it was a little hard to get used to.
Okay.
Because usually it's like a very high up 3/4 camera, and now it sort of follows you over your. But it's hard you don't get any sort of a radar, so you'll go into an area and you can't see where anybody is. So like you'll like go down a stairwell and be like, oh, I got caught. I am trying to go through a no-kill playthrough.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's hilarious, though. So
do you get to like stun them, though? Like a stun gun? So
you get like a tranquilizer gun, basically. Okay. Or I can do they call it close quarter combat, CQC, and I can knock them out.
Okay. I also hear there's some ape escape going on in this game, too.
Yeah, so that is from the original game. It's like they put you in sort of the levels, or however you want to call them, the areas, and you have to go catch the monkey, basically.
Love it.
Yeah. So they give you a counter of who you've killed. So there's bosses. Those are the only 2 people. I've only killed 2 bosses at this point, which I'll talk about in a second. But there's an area where you have to like wade through this swamp, and then there's these dude on these hover columns, basically. So I shot one of them with the tranq gun, and he gets dizzy, falls asleep, and then crashes and blows up his own craft. So I went, oh fuck, did I kill him? Doesn't count.
Because you didn't do it.
Exactly.
He did it himself, sleepy bastard.
Yeah, there was one where a guy was like standing on a dock and he fell down into the water. I'm like, shit. So it's not like I indirectly killed him. Have you played any of these games before, Brian?
I honestly think I played Snake Eater on the GameCube when it first came out, or the PlayStation 2, maybe.
Snake Eater was definitely. I don't think Snake Eater ever made it to PlayStation or to GameCube. GameCube had Twin Snakes.
Okay.
PlayStation 2 was definitely at the life cycle of PlayStation 2 MGS.
I definitely played it on PlayStation 2. I think I rented it from like a Blockbuster at the time.
Yeah. So there is a particular character. His name is the End. All the bosses in the game are named after battlefield emotion. So there's the pain, the end, the fear, the fury, the sorrow. The boss is known as the joy, but they only call her the boss. So the End is a really old sniper that is going to only wake up to face Snake, and you face him later on in the game in this big open field, and you have to go through multiple parts to sort, like, it's like a back and forth sniper battle.
Okay.
But they wheel him out and he's not awake, and so it has this whole cutscene around him, and then if you grab a sniper rifle at this point, you can wait for the cutscene to end, bring up your sniper rifle, and there's a direct line to him.
So you
can kill him.
Bypass the whole boss fight.
Exactly, you can kill him, which I had never done. I did it for this run through, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" Because it's funny too when every character dies, or when like the End or the Pain, they say their name. It's like pain, and it like echoes like pain, 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 pain. I shot him, and you just hear end. I'm like, "Oh, I got him!" But it's like little shit like that. Like I really want to know how someone figured that out.
Yeah.
Of like, wonder if I could kill him. Oh. Because then you basically just get to, so you get to walk through that now.
That's cool.
So I've been slowly but surely making my way through certain parts. I haven't had a chance to play a lot of it. I will probably play less and less as we move through the month of September.
Yeah, that's a busy month.
Yeah, I know. We got a protest tomorrow, Mexican Independence Day parade, moving, lieutenant's test, and stuff like that. So it is going to be
a real life.
Yeah, I know, man. It is just like I have no free time. Like, what happened to my life? This is what I say. It's like this is what being competent gets you. It's like they just give you more responsibility. It's like, why can't because I think about it, I'm like someone that is not one furthering their education or like working towards something. So it's like, all right, I got my job. Now I'm studying for a test right now. It's like, there's people that get to go home and do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like the way my schedule works out, it's like I'm either studying, I'm working, I'm doing something for the move, or I'm watching my son. That is all I am doing.
You got a full life. You got a full life.
We recorded our last episode. I spent the next hour and a half editing it, and I discovered 1.5 speed, which I said I would never do, but it helps. It moves it a lot faster because having to re-listen to the episode all the way through for an hour, it's yeah. I find myself not paying attention, but no, we're usually pretty good. Like I said, there's fewer and fewer edits as long as I don't mess up the beginning or I don't start burping or have to poop in the middle of an episode.
And if we have to, we just sit in it. We talk about it.
Yeah, so maybe for the next episode, you need to switch up your cabinet.
Yeah, I'll see. I'll put some new stuff in there.
Exactly. Put some fun stuff in there. Stuff we wouldn't normally see.
Absolutely.
Or maybe like an 8x10 of yourself or something like that.
Just open it up. It's me.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that'll about do it for our episode. Please join us next time, and we will talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Just a grave guy. This poor dude's living a wrestling lie. Brian doesn't know the ropes or the show. Tag teams and belts are all Greek to his soul. Every finisher he calls a we spin move. Brian doesn't know he's got nothing to prove. WrestleMania 4 and in class, confused a pile driver with a chair to crash. He thought kayfabe was a type of pie. Stop pretending, kid, we all sigh. The crowd chants loud, but he's writing checks. He thought ahead, but was just bad next. We tried to teach him the world of the ring, but Brian shrugs off everything. Brian doesn't know the ropes or the show. Tag nothing to prove.